Hello everyone, welcome back to the Talking Mode. My name is Sarah and alongside with me is Caroline.
Hi guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Talking Mode. So in this episode, we are introducing a brand new series where we will talk and discuss about the different so-called controversial notions and opinions regarding every aspects of life, from education to finance to some more intimate topics such as sexual or other stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy this series.
So, let's get started. Before we get into the discussion about this topic, the today's topic, how are you today, Caroline?
Okay. So how am I today? I'm very stressed because
Okay.
I would say today is a kind of productive day. Yeah, I've got many things done today, but yeah, I feel good, but at the same time I feel stressed as well because I know that the upcoming weeks or the upcoming months will be hectic and fully packed. But how about yours? How's your day?
Well, I'll say that I think that I have a lot to do, but I didn't do much today. So I started the day with um, playing with my puppies, and then I did like my math homework, and then after that I just had like designed a little bit like our canvas,
Design. Me too.
our canvas post, and then we had our little session to discuss about the motion.
Yeah.
And it was pretty, when we entered the whole discussion, it was like um stressful
Kind of.
because
Yeah.
everyone has this different approach to the motions, and then we argue, and I think that up until this point we still need a lot of research about
Yeah.
that motion
Yeah.
because I feel like we're
Exactly.
not on the same page, and and we just have so many like just different approaches to it, and
Yeah.
it just all contradict one another.
That's normal. We just need
Yeah.
some more research.
Of course, yeah, it's I think it's quite normal as when it's called debate, and so
Yeah.
sort of to have to embrace it.
So talking about debate, have you done your homework?
I think I'll do it later,
Oh my god, I think I'll do it tomorrow.
but I seem
Not
to
yet.
I don't know. I think like with my little chat with our mentor, it seems he thought that I have finished all of mine, and then he even said that okay, so if you want more materials, you could ask me, and then um so yeah,
Okay.
I think I just like accidentally put a whole like lot more work. Like
That's
I don't know
okay.
why. Yeah.
Yeah. We
Okay.
okay. Okay.
So should we move on into our topic?
Yeah, but first I think we should have a discuss an introduction about what we talking about today specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you do it, Caroline?
Okay, I can, but yeah, okay. So, in today's episode, starting off with the brand new series, we're gonna talk about the other kinds of education that we aren't usually taught in school, meaning sex education and finance and other stuff. And so I feel like starting off with this topic is really relevant to the previous campaign, but very interesting and refreshing as well. So yeah,
R-
that's yeah.
Right. So, as you've all know that I think that there used to be a debate motion regarding this, kind of topic that because we always, follow the traditional syllabus, which only consists
Yeah.
of, math, literature, biology, history, and we don't really focus we're not really taught how to have this mindset about, finance or even something about sex education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what do you think? Why do you think that um, they didn't teach us any of that?
I mean, so first of all, I would say the because of the cultural influence. So, for example, in the Western countries, even though they are not taught like fully in depth about these topics, they are like kind of touching the surface and knowing a little bit about it. But for us, we have like totally no clue about what these topics are and like why are they useful. But like as I'm growing, like as time proceeds and I'm growing up, like I feel like these topics should be the main like focus, especially in the like high school years. Yeah. And so I don't know, like you said, the Vietnamese education, we tend to focus more on the theories, more on theories than on like practicality. And so I feel like that's one of the reason why we are not taught these topics. So yeah, what do you think?
So see, I agree with you about the cultural influence. Do you think that when we, start talking about like sex education or anything that's relating to that, it's even regarded as a social taboo, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
even with our family members, it's really hard to just open up and talk about it. It is not a common
yeah,
topic. It is not something that parents, like not like most parents, just don't talk to them. But then they want their child to, stay safe and all, but keeping them in the blind, I don't think that it's the solution for that. And because you know that the and also like with the in the Western countries, there's these tradition that when you reach after you finish your high school and you head outside, you don't really stay with your parents anymore, and so you have to
mm-hmm.
be independent. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that the reasons why they, in the Western nations, even though they didn't really touch, too deep into that subject, but at least they gave the students a glimpse of what how to be
Yeah,
financially independent,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
they moved out and they just, they have to manage all the budget and loans, and it's really really important to give students a head start on those
Yeah,
topics.
yeah, totally agree. But I don't know, maybe because they are like independent from such an early age. I feel like that just creates a more subjective mindset towards them. But like for us, because we aren't aware of these things, I feel like we will tend to be more willing to learn about this topic. I don't know, but like at least for me, I'm very comfortable and very open for this like topics. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because for both topic, which is sex education and finance education, I mean, finance education, it's maybe it's not really hard to talk about. It's
Yeah.
just a problem with we aren't being taught about that subject. But with sex education, I think there must be an approach to teach students. For example, when you're in secondary school, at what level, there should be a equivalent, syllabus according to each grades, so that it will be suitable. You just don't
Yeah,
jump at students when, like, you
of
don't
course.
just start teaching them about that when they're in high school, because that will be too late for some. And if it's
Mm.
like you don't just shout different kind of like ways to about protections when they're in like first grade, that is not
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
it yeah
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so okay, so moving on, why do you think that sex education is important?
Wow, because we will definitely experience it. So we better know about it sooner than later.
I
Yeah,
like
I
that
feel like,
answer. I like that
yeah.
answer.
Oh my God, that's so normal. Like even though like if you like don't like having sex or anything, like no offense to you, but like I feel like sex is inevitable. And so the more that we know about it and the more educated we are about these topics, like the better. And especially like sex education are like it's not totally about like protection and having a healthy sex life. It's also about like menstrual health and like protecting yourself as well from like rape or even like some unexpected pregnancy. I'm almost so yeah. I feel like because of that, it's very important, especially for female, because like talking about sex, we like I don't know, females, we are not really educated about these topics, and because of that, we don't have the necessary knowledge to protect ourselves in return, especially like for like birth control or pregnancy or something like that. So yeah, but like talking about like you talk about like the second grade, the secondary um years. I feel like you remember in grade 8 we did like we were taught about like the sexual organ.
Um,
Yeah,
well,
but like
for me, they even have like this whole, like they just only have like one day to talk
wow,
about, like
really?
they even have demonstration, as in how to use a condom. Like it was so awkward. I remember that day. It was like so weird. But like because the like one of the teachers, she just stood there on the stage and she did it. Like she did a demonstration on how to use it, and
Use what
the school,
condom?
yeah, to use the condom, and
Okay.
she put it on a kind of like a stick, and it's so awkward.
Oh my god.
Like the
Yeah.
whole school was like, oh my god, what is happening? And the funny thing is, so the thing is, I've heard them talking about it, but when they're being lectured about it, they just kind of like blush, and then they feels like awkward and stuff. I don't know why, but like they could swear, like they have these like swear words, and they even joke about it. But when it comes to the
Oh.
real thing, they just like shy, and I don't know. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah. But like at school I didn't experience that in my high school. Like we like I don't have the whole big lecture like you did. Like we are all like we were all taught in like small classes and like following the syllabus. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of normal, but it wasn't enough. It just touched the tip of the iceberg and not the actual thing, like the sex and the protection almost. So yeah, I don't know.
Right, right. So I feel like so biology, like studying a biology, that we did mention about this whole
Mm-hmm.
process of mating, and how how to produce babies and all sorts. But like
Produce.
I don't know how to make babies.
Yeah.
Like where do babies come from? And yeah, I don't know, like that. And I think that okay, so we pretty clear on how that happened. But the thing is, when it really comes to the us, like
Yeah.
students, I don't know. I think it is like maybe the approach, maybe it's we study it, but it's not very direct. Like it's not really aiming us. So like we feel
Yeah.
like we're talking about someone else, like the other people that is not us. So like we don't really care, or that
Yeah.
yeah, or is
Yeah.
that creating this atmosphere of we're just learning about something that we should learn. It's just not applied to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I mean, like we are just taught about the process after like having sex. Like
Mm.
when the sperm and the egg something. But like, what about the former process of that, like the actual like sex? So
Mm.
we're not taught about it. So because of that, like many females or even males, when it comes to that process, they are completely clueless. So I feel like that's yeah one thing that should be taught more.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's like we care more about how to tackle with the consequences, but not how
Pregnancy.
to
Yeah.
but not how to prevent it.
Yeah. And also like it's how ironic we spend like years and years studying about like other animals mating and like plants mating, but what about us mating, you know? I
I
don't
think
know.
it's because, I think it's because when you're talking about animals and plants, it's kind of
Yeah.
really easy because they're
Yeah.
just, but even when, so when we're talking about us, and even the teachers really frustrated with this topic because they know
Yeah.
that the student will laugh and, they will ask all sorts of
No.
questions. And that's the thing. I think that the thing is we cannot create this, this atmosphere, like this kind of like normal atmosphere where everyone feels safe to just ask. Because when I feel like when students they just have too much questions about it, there will be like jokes about them, like
Yeah.
why do you need to ask too much? Like why? And it's like, oh, are you about to do it soon or something like that? They're being, make fun. So that's why they don't really want to ask, even though they really want to know.
Yeah, I
um
don't know. Like even I feel like the more appropriate approach to this is to divide class into smaller groups because that will make them feel more intimate and more like serious about this topic. I don't know. Yeah.
right, I agree. Like we should have like not like the huge
Yeah.
auditorium, and everyone just exchange
How
eye
can we talk
contact.
about that like in front of like 100 other people? Oh my god, that's so
Yeah, this
awkward.
I think that this matter should be spread widely, but like in small groups, not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in this
Agree,
huge,
agree.
because when we're too shy to ask, even when we're learning math, and we feel like, oh my gosh, we want to ask, the
Yeah.
teacher to
Got it.
solve it again, and we just feel like, oh my gosh, if I ask, then someone will think that I'm not smart or anything like that. And
Yeah.
even with this, it requires a more like intimate atmosphere. Cool.
Wow. Interesting. So what about finance? Like,
Right. Um I think that finance education should be taught at school too.
yeah,
Um, do you think so too?
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But
And
like,
at what
what
level? Like,
aspects of it? Yeah.
but
What
like
aspects
at
of
what
it?
level should you think that we should be taught about finance education?
Finance education? I feel like it should be taught fully in the high school years.
Hmm.
Like, because finance is so broad. And also, one more thing, we can incorporate finance into like history. We can talk about the history of money and the history of the monetary system and central banks and stuff. Like that's very easy to incorporate into subjects such as like history, and that can be taught like in the later secondary years. But like when it comes to like the actual stuff, like the modern like monetary things like stocks and entrepreneurship and like financial literate, I feel like that should be taught in like the high school years because then we will have a more well-rounded approach, a mindset about this topic. And also like high school years are just closer to like actual life, you know,
Hmm.
like I don't
Right.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like your points about integrate them in secondary, like upper secondary year, when you could integrate them in history or like in math. Give
Yeah,
students a more realistic um,
of
you know,
course.
yeah, view about how to apply those knowledges into real life. And in high school, I think that I totally agree. Like we should have like even like a glimpse about you know financial um, matters. Like for example, maybe not stocks, or maybe just like a mindset about how we should
Mm-hmm.
plan everything. How should we
Yeah.
organize our budget and things like that. I think that is very good, and like a good thing to practice, or like when we're still in high school, because then we will develop into a habit, and then it will be easier in life.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Yeah, okay. So like you know about the notion of like financial freedom, right? So I really want to talk about this because like financial freedom, like it's really different for everybody. So like for you, what does it mean when like it comes to financial freedom?
I think so when I heard about financial freedom, I think it's about like being financially independent. Like
Mm-hmm.
so of course you're living under your parents like using your parents' money, and they give you these allowances and telling you, and so that you could just manage to use in uh, those amount of money. And I think that being financially independent means that even though like from in high school you need like how to um how to for example plan, okay, so this week I will spend like this much on breakfast, or that
Mm-hmm.
week on how much on
Oh,
books
okay,
and things like
okay.
that. Like it's like from the simplest thing. And I think when you move into like university, it's more like about okay, so I don't know like about in Vietnam, but I think that in the US it's clearer in the US that uh, students have to I don't know like spend very strictly, because or else they end up in loans, and it's
Yeah.
really hard to just pay all the debts.
Wow.
Um, how about you? What do you think? What is your take on financial freedom?
So it's very simple for me. Financial freedom for me means that I can do whatever I want without the fear of always having to check your bank account or something. Like, of course, that like I don't like excessively spend money or something. But like like when it comes to like going on a vacation or like shopping, like it's good that we you don't have to like always check your bank account to see like how much money was left. And so I feel like that, and also it's very reassuring for me to like be able to provide for my loved ones and my relatives and my family members to pursue their maybe college, to pursue their job or something. I mean, like financial freedom to me means that I can provide for myself comfortably, and also provide for the people around me to help them on their in pursuing their dreams or even whatever they want. So that's kind of simple to me. Yeah.
Right. So like basically, to be in control of all your, finance, right?
Yeah, because I don't want like money to be in control of us. Like when we have to always to check our bank account, it means that we are dependent on our money. But when we are like free of it, like it means that we just have to spend the money that we need to spend.
Right. For some people, they don't even have to check it, but they still know that how much they're left, because they have a clear plan, and they're very in control of how much they have.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a very healthy lifestyle, because to check it constantly, it kind of shows that you are very stressful, like in terms
Yeah.
of money, and you always have to care. Okay, so I need to make more and more and more. Like you're constantly being pressured, with the thought of making money. Of course, that it's, you know, for a lot of people, it's a necessity, because they have to provide for their family. But at the same time, being financially independent, they could, be in charge of all their monetary like matter.
Yeah. So, okay, having said about that, why do you think these subjects are not taught in schools?
Okay, so regarding sex education, I think that we've mentioned something about awkwardness, like, and I think that the other
Yeah.
issues are we don't have like enough resources, to like human
Yeah.
resources, to teach students these.
Human resources? What do you
Yeah,
mean by human resources?
no, I mean
Like
like
actual
teachers,
human?
no, like
Actual human?
like
Yeah,
teachers
yeah, yeah.
and oh my
Oh,
god.
I thought we're talking about the suspects.
Oh, so you're thinking about. Oh, I see. Okay, it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
god.
kind of
my god, it's kind of funny. Oh my god, I haven't thought.
Okay,
Oh,
the
okay.
actual teachers.
Yeah, the teachers and so they there's not because they're not trained to teach
Yeah.
this because like 10 years ago 8 years ago they don't have this even have this subject so
Yeah.
but and what else what else what are the other reasons that you think why these subjects aren't taught at schools.
So to continue with your saying that like they don't have the resources necessary, and all, yeah, meaning the facility and also the human resources, and also I feel like the budget also, because like talking about the subjects, these topics, like we need like actual experts and experienced like guest speakers to talk about these topics, because then it will like increase the credibility, and also it just create a very constructive learning experience, because they have a thorough knowledge about these matters, and they also know how to talk to people about these matter, so that it wouldn't be offensive. And another very big thing is like, because we haven't paid attention to these topics for such a long time, now like now if we want to like construct a proper syllabus maybe for these topics, it will be very time consuming, because we have to dig deep like down the path of history, and like just I don't know, time travel a bit. And so that's one of the reasons why
Mm.
I think like, yeah.
And I think that also we need to get rid of like the notion that okay we're not being taught about this it's because um, adults think that okay oh
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it comes when it comes like you know it when you know it basically
That's not the right mindset.
yeah so that you know it when you know it maybe you know it when it's too late um, so
Fair
I think
enough.
that's the thing so
Yeah.
yeah that's the thing with both subjects. So how about we move on to the some of the resources as well as extra materials you think that we could um, you know dive we could educate ourselves more about these subjects.
Okay, so I'm also on the journey of educating myself on these topics. So I would say social media and like yeah, social media is a very powerful tool to that can aid you in this process. Like for example, YouTube or even Google. Like it's I would feel like the materials and the resources are all at our hands. It's the question of whether or not we want to explore and we want to claim and use those resources to our advantage or not. And so yeah, I feel like, so for me, if I would recommend you where to start on these topics, I feel like YouTube is the place to start with, because they are all in forms of videos, and because of that it's very easy to consume and very easy to understand, and also the depictions or the images will make it easier for you to remember. And so I would say like some of the YouTube channels that I really enjoy when it comes to like financial thing and monetary matters are like Code Fusion and Second Thought, and also our changing climate. They talk a lot about consumerism, capitalism, or even like monetary system in the US, like central banks, or even around the world. And I feel like that's a very good place to start. But I would suggest that you just start with very simple matters like consumerism, because it's very relevant. Yeah. So what about like you? What? Yeah. What are your resources?
Oh, so you mentioned about the materials so that we could learn more about finance education, and I think that regarding sex education, maybe you have like access to the internet. I think it's very easy because online there are so many uh, legitimate sources from the health department that can give you all the informations regarding anything about sex education. And also, if you want to have a more visual as well as some like moment, like kind of like teenagers moment, you can
Yeah.
watch like sex education because it's
Yeah.
very realistic and as well it's very funny. They try
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to deliver all the messages regarding sex education in a
Very humorous.
yeah, it's very humorous. So yeah, I think that's about it, right? I think we should,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's all covered, and I will see you in our next episode of the Talking Mode. So stay tuned,
Stay
stay safe,
safe
and
and stay
stay
awesome.
awesome.
Take
Goodbye.
care. Bye.